Since Lyra died, yes.
Oh. Oh. My condolences.
Search the house!
It is Star Wars month on Movie Night Extravaganza. We're going to cover the original trilogy this month. Some say the only real trilogy. A New Hope on August 12th, Empire Strikes Back on August 19th, and Return of the Jedi on the 26th. George Lucas's iconic trilogy has its roots in the Vietnam War. Looking at Empire, the fight against imperial despotism, as well as samurai films, especially Kurosawa, westerns, and the work of Joseph Campbell, such as Hero with a Thousand Faces. But first, tonight, we're going to talk about the 2016 spin-off Rogue One. It takes place between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope.
Be careful not to choke on your aspirations, Director.
In fact, the main action of the film is 1 week before the events of A New Hope. In the opening crawl for Star Wars in 1977, it began with Rebel spaceships striking from a hidden base have won their first victory against the evil Galactic Empire. During the battle, Rebel spies managed to steal secret plans to the Empire's ultimate weapon, the Death Star, an armored space station with enough power to destroy an entire planet. Rogue One is the story of that battle and how the Rebel spies managed to steal the secret plans. Starring Felicity Jones, Diego Luna, Mads Mikkelsen, Donnie Yen, Zhang Wen, Riz Ahmed, Forrest Whitaker, and Alan Tudyk as the K2 droid's motion capture and voice. He's also the Gary robot in Superman. Originally pitched by John Knoll, who was a special effects supervisor on the prequel trilogy, Disney hired Gareth Edwards, who had just finished Godzilla, to direct, and Gary Whitta, a couple years off of The Book of Eli, which we actually talked about with him on a previous episode, to write the screenplay. Gary ended up doing his draft and coming up with the story, working alongside Gareth Edwards, and then leaving for other projects. The screenplay had rewrites done by Chris Weitz, who most famously worked on American Pie and About a Boy with his brother Paul, and then wrote and directed The Golden Compass. And then Tony Gilroy, the writer of the Bourne trilogy, joined to write extra scenes and do some reshoots. Rogue One was filmed by Greg Fraser, who had filmed Zero Dark 30 with Catherine Bigelow. He's since done movies like The Batman, both Dunes, and Vice with Adam McKay. Rogue One's filming style has been compared to Zero Dark 30 quite a bit. It's meant to be a gritty war movie rather than a sci-fi film. Which gives it a distinct feeling different than the original trilogy, even as it inhabits the same universe, the same galaxy far, far away. It's also been compared to a heist film, as the central part of the film is acquiring the Death Star plans.
We've heard word of rumors circulating through the city. Apparently, you've lost a rather talkative cargo pilot. If the Senate gets wind of our project, countless systems will flock to the rebellion.
Controversial part of the film is that they used CGI to bring back Peter Cushing and a young Carrie Fisher. Carrie Fisher was still alive at that point and actually was shocked to learn it was CGI and not just footage they had from shooting the original trilogy. But bringing back Peter Cushing set off ethical debates about the use of CGI and bringing back the dead, which actually seemed quite quaint compared to the AI wars we're experiencing right now. At least you actually have to make the CGI replica of the person's face and then superimpose it on a real person's motion captured body, right? The character of Cassius Andor, played by Diego Luna, would end up being the star of Tony Gilroy's prequel show, Andor. So a TV show prequel to the movie, which is a prequel to The New Hope. Felicity Jones plays Jyn Erso, the daughter of the research scientist Galen Erso, played by Mads Mikkelsen. 15 years before the events of the movie, there's a 19-year gap between when Revenge of the Sith ends and A New Hope begins.
I won't do it, Krennic.
We were on the verge of greatness. We were this close to providing peace and security for the galaxy.
You're confusing peace with terror.
Well, you have to start somewhere.
Galen Erso is kidnapped from Lamu by Orson Krennic, played by Ben Mendelsohn. His wife Lyra is killed, but Jyn manages to escape with the rebel extremist Saw Gerrera. The Rebel Alliance, attempting to stop the Emperor and Vader from taking over the galaxy, has fractured and broken, with Saw Gerrera as the most extreme leader of a faction, willing to use torture, murder, and anything else, whereas the Rebel Alliance is far squishier and more squeamish. Saw Gerrera is like a space communist, and the Rebels are space social democrats and liberals. After 15 years, Jyn is rescued from a labor camp by the Rebel Alliance, knowing she could probably draw out her father. The Rebel captain Cassius Andor is under secret orders to kill Galen Erso. Rogue One fills a bunch of plot holes from A New Hope, like why is there a button that just be shot and the Death Star self-destructs?
We call it the Death Star. There is no better name, and the day is coming soon when it will be unleashed. I've placed a weakness deep within the system, a flaw so small and powerful they will never find it.
How did the Rebel Alliance get the Death Star plans in the original? Who got Princess Leia to send her message to Ben Kenobi? Characters from the original trilogy return: Princess Leia, Darth Vader, Peter Cushing's Grand Moff Tarkin, C-3PO, and R2-D2. A major theme in the film is the absence of hope, which makes sense. A New Hope is the rekindling of hope that comes from Leia's message reaching Obi-Wan Kenobi. This is the time before such hope. There's some great speeches about how revolutions live on hope. Definitely hits hard now, as it did in 2016. Rogue One was one of the most expensive films ever made, sitting at number 41 in the top 100 most expensive films. Crazy, the most expensive film ever made is still The Force Awakens, which came out a year before Rogue One. Cost Lucasfilm and Disney $447 million and brought back $936 million at the box office. Rogue One cost $280 million and brought back $1 billion at the box office. It got 2 Academy Award nominations, Best Sound Mixing and Best Visual Effects.
You're asking us to invade an Imperial installation based on nothing but hope.
Rebellions are built on hope.
There is no hope.